Welcome back, everybody. We hope you had an awesome spring break to Lambert Plains. I'm here for Lambert High School for episode 10 with an awesome teacher and an awesome sponsor. And I'm excited because I've got Mrs. Jen Wilson with us today, who's an amazing teacher in our social studies department, but also the student council sponsor. Welcome, Ms. Wilson.
Thank you.
We're so glad to have you today. Before we get to all the your extracurricular things that you have going on here at Lambert High School throughout the year, I want to talk to you about teaching because I'm over the English department now. Fortunately, but unfortunately, because I don't get to watch you in action anymore, because I used to be over social studies and I saw what a great teacher you really are. What makes a teacher just a notch above others? What is it you feel in teaching that's so important?
That's a tough one. I think there's a lot of factors, knowing your content and really enjoying the kids. But ultimately, I'm a competitor and I constantly compete with myself from the years past and how I can improve my classroom each year. I love to make those relationships with kids and get them interested in not the Google history of let's look up a fact, but how can this help me be a better person the rest of my life? I tell stories all day. It's what's not fun about that? It's something that the kids can always just enjoy. You don't have to worry about memorizing the facts, but then you can connect it to not just this year, but for years to come.
And that's what makes every day so different and so much fun in teaching. What is a unit you really enjoy teaching? What is one of your favorite units you like to teach to kids?
Oh my God, there's so many. That's a tough one, but I do have to say the more modern history is something that's at least, if nothing else, a high interest level for everybody because, we live it. I just had the students do interviews of family members who are multiple generations apart to really see how history continues to affect us through modern day. So they talked to grandparents, great uncles, and we had stories from World War II veterans, people who lived through the Great Depression, who experienced and escaped the Cultural Revolution, experience of various memories of assassinations from Indira Gandhi to MLK. And it was so neat because this is exactly what we're studying in our class right now, which these people are all dead. This is dusty in the books, but doing interviews and talking about it in class at the same time, it helps them really realize that this history is alive and it continues to affect you in ways that you don't even realize until you start asking those questions. So I would say basically everything from, the Great Depression through 9/11 is just such a rich connecting history that, how can you not love talking about it?
That's so cool because as you were just talking, I was actually rewinding my mind thinking about 9/11, thinking about the Challenger disaster and things like that. So it really is neat to talk about modern history without a doubt. That is pretty interesting. We are a BYOT school. Technology is such a big and important part of Lambert. I know we've got these cool new boards that just came into all the classroom. You use technology in your class. How does technology seem to be advantageous to you as a teacher nowadays as to maybe years past where you didn't use technology as much?
Well, for me, it allows me to be, I guess for lack of better words, multidimensional. Yesterday when the students came in, we had a little CCR playing, Some Fortunate Son. I'm teaching Vietnam. So I just simply pulled up YouTube. Lo and behold, CCR album, put it up. We're listening to it and talking about Vietnam. And I can show them a slideshow of images as you hear these musics. I have them pull up the lyrics and without really any effort, I have auditory, I have visual, I have hands-on, and the kids are like, I had no idea. I've heard this song a million times. And then we talk about how, really good music, poetry, it's timeless. Sure, it's about Vietnam War, but maybe 3 of them actually really understood that. So for me, the use of technology isn't so much for assessments, although we certainly do that. Mm-hmm. It's to allow them to feel it and to allow them to have ownership. Because again, they walked out of my class going, oh, now I understand full moon rising or bad moon rising is a full moon, mm-hmm. and soldiers. And they're like, I have a totally new respect. And, that's the cool thing. It's history is just, it doesn't have to be boring, and it doesn't have to be something that's dead. They hear it every day, and that was just a really fun day for us.
Wow. Now, for so many of you out here that are listening to that, parents of incoming freshmen to Lambert, and those of you that have, students here, and even our peers and community members, how awesome is that? Wouldn't you want to be in this classroom? Trust me, I would. It sounds exciting. But I want to move on because one of the things you talked about, that was relationships. And I'm a big relationship person myself. I believe that everything is based on having good relationships. And obviously, as a sponsor of seemingly the most important extracurricular club in the school, no offense, everybody else is awesome, but I'm a student council person myself, 18 years before becoming an administrator. It's big time. It's what it's all about. How did you get involved in student council?
I think I got volunteered. When Lambert first opened, student council, it was new. We hadn't ever really had it because we're a new school. And I've always been involved with students through athletics. I used to coach. I was no longer doing that as I had my own kids to carpool everywhere. So that wasn't really an option anymore. But I just love being involved and being a part of the school environment. School isn't just school, in regards to taking classes. You don't remember that really amazing, one class lesson as much as you remember your homecoming. And what a really cool opportunity to just be connected to kids beyond my classroom. And knowing that my own kids would come to this school one day, I wanted to help build traditions in an environment that would just last. And so when I got the opportunity to work and start putting these traditions together, it just snowballed, and it just kept getting more exciting. And what else could we do? And the great thing about Lambert is the sky really is the limit. When you make a suggestion, it's never that's never going to happen. It's like, what can we do to make that happen? And that's just been such a privilege to be a part of.
It really is a privilege, and it makes us so excited to be a part of this Lambert culture. It's phenomenal. Well, chronologically, I'm going to work through the year a little bit because, this is geared for our exciting, eighth graders, parents of eighth graders who are coming in next year to Lambert and what they're going to be a part of. So in the fall, of course, everybody has homecoming, and we've got kind of a new tradition here, relatively new at Lambert, that deals with the Lalo Fest and pomping. Tell us a little bit how homecoming works at Lambert High School.
Well, we go outside. One of the things about homecoming is that it just didn't quite appeal to enough of the student body when we did a traditional in the cafeteria, semi-formal, which was wonderful. But, our kids come from the eighth grade semi-formal, and by the time they're seniors, they're too cool. So we wanted to do something that was a little bit more all-encompassing, something that was out of the ordinary and really helped continue to set Lambert apart from the norm, which is something I think we take pride in. The theme that was being tossed around a couple of years was doing a music festival, and so I simply asked, well, why don't we go outside? And the kids just went, yeah, why not? Actually, the company I work with to help build the homecoming events, they were absolutely against it. It'll never work. What are you doing? You're crazy. And I just said, no, we're going to make it work. And lo and behold, it did. It was so much fun. The kids enjoyed just going out there and having carefree fun in a safe environment. And there's food trucks and music and lights and paint, and the word spread. And, we went from doubling our numbers from a cafeteria event to now we have over half the student body going to these events. Equally freshmen through seniors.
That's
In fact,
awesome.
I had more seniors last year attend than I had sophomores.
Well, there's your biggest barometer right there. The kids love it.
Well, and then the kids realize, it is cool to go to. It is fun. And the kids are already excited. We are already planning homecoming for next year, and it's April.
That's exciting. Mm-hmm. That is awesome. And, what's really cool about that is there's no pressure that you have to be asked. It's something you just go and casually have a good time as an individual, in a group. It really is a fun event.
It does. It takes a lot of that stress of who's who and who's dating who or who's my, it takes that all away. Grab a group of friends, put on a pair of shorts, and come on out.
I love
it's
it.
So much fun.
I love it. And then, on a more, not necessarily more important note, but it is a community note, is you do an amazing canned food drive, which every year just tops the next. How do you do it? What do we do? And tell us a little about the success of our canned food drive here at Lambert High School.
Talk about a privilege to be involved with. We started working with the homeless liaison for Forsyth County Schools a handful of years ago. I was chatting and realized during these holidays, like over the winter break, those are actual days of school. Kids that rely on the school programs for breakfast and lunch, they don't have that. And they were talking about how the numbers just continue to grow and the need just seems to become endless. And, we just started talking about it with student council. And our thing here is that we support our school. And what's more supportive of your school than when you're not actually here, and yet we're still providing. And I think that's one of the cool things about being a Longhorn is that it is more than the 8 hours a day that you spend here. It's something that is community, and it's Longhorn for life. So we really built into the innate desire of so many of us to be competitive and to serve. And that's where the Camp Food Tribe really is born from. I know within my own department, there are a handful of us teachers that we are competing against each other who can raise more. The kids themselves, if you show that it's important to you, it becomes important to them. Right. And, I think that's been the really neat thing is that there are teachers in our school that share that side of them with their students and build those relationships. And then the kids take it on to their own selves, I know I had students who went and collected from neighborhoods, pushed a wheelbarrow around, or, they took a penny drive from all their classes and collected change and went to Walmart and bought cans. It's just such a small little effort on our part. And then as it grows, more and more want to be involved. And the way we do it, where we count each item as for the kids and the numbers start to grow, it takes a life of its own. And to say that what we do is, without a doubt, one of my favorite things, but has such an impact is an understatement. It's really just amazing to see when we open up that truck and they see all the food that's being donated. It's just a wonderful feeling.
It really is. And what's really cool about what you guys do is our kids are so great, is we have the hallways lined with all the cans and the ramen noodles and everything. Mm-hmm. And of course, nobody touches except to set it up and keep it nice and even, but you just walk by basically in awe of all the food that comes in.
And the pride. Yes. The kids take such pride in it. And, as that pile grows, you would think like, oh, there's enough. But no, it actually has the opposite effect on our students. They're like, how big can we get it? And that's just been so fun to watch when they are just continuing to build these piles of food.
That's unbelievable. And now it's been a few months, but do you remember what was the total this year? Do you remember around what it was?
I know
you can round it off. I'll let you round it off.
I know we topped over 50,000 food items.
Did you say 50,000?
Yes. So, and we do count each item individually. That's part of the fun. But, as I tell my students, you buy a 12-pack box of oatmeal. That's not a box of oatmeal. That's 12 breakfasts.
That's true.
And so that's how we count it. And that isn't necessarily to inflate numbers. It does foster competition, but it's also to help the kids realize I just gave somebody 12 days of breakfast. And that reality is going to hit home. It's wonderful.
That is awesome. Well, there's so many other things that you do. Like we will get. I'm going to, if you'll let me, I'm going to bring you back if that's okay.
Absolutely.
But we want to talk. I want to talk about the amazing bubble soccer event you have. I want to talk about your impression of our year in spirit. But before we go, the one thing that's coming up is the big. And being selfishly as having a senior daughter this year myself is Prom 2019. Tell us about what parents can expect this year, the extravaganza known as the Lambert Prom, because every year it tops the next.
Well, this one's going to be pretty amazing, I'm not going to lie. The students have settled on a theme that is loosely based on Alice in Wonderland. The main idea is that we're focusing on the just going into another world, the entering through this wonderland, the oversized event of everything, the decorations, the music, the dresses, it's just, this is a really special event for our students. Kids look forward to this since they were little. I know my daughter's been shopping for a prom dress since second grade. So it's something that, is built up, and we want to honor that. We want to make sure that when the students walk into whatever building we're having at, and this year it is over here at the Avenues, that they enter into a new world. It's a event that really caps off and celebrates so much hard work that they've been putting in for the past 10, 11, 12 years. And we want to make it special and take them to another world. And that's what we're going to be doing this year with Wonderland.
I'm so excited about it. And the date of that is?
May 4th.
May 4th is the big night. They can still get tickets, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, still get tickets. So it's a big event. It caps out, really kind of winds down the year for our seniors and juniors. And, it's going to be a big event. But man, what a year of fun and excitement. You are arguably the best teacher in the school, or in the top handful of teachers in this school. Tremendous club sponsor. It's been an honor to have you on Lambert Plains today.
Thank you.
We're so glad to have you. And parents, if you have any questions, you can get a hold of Mrs. Wilson to ask about anything that we have next year. If you're an incoming freshman, we want to get you plugged in. You can find out about how to get involved in student council next year as soon as you're coming on board, or beforehand, because, of course, we do love to have our freshmen get involved. And those of you that are already in the building, if you have any questions, you can, of course, get a hold of Mrs. Wilson here at the school about any of these wonderful events, especially prom, because that's coming up and it's around the bend. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you all for being a part of Lambert Plains once again. And can we give them a hook 'em?
Hook 'em.
Hook 'em. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you soon.